What's up guys, Aaron Radcliffe here and welcome to nomadsnation.com, your #1 resource for nomad lifestyle and awesome backpack reviews. And today, we're hanging out with this guy. Welcome to our Tortuga Setout Backpack review. Guys, here at Nomads Nation, we do our backpack reviews a little bit differently. Right now, I'm based in Vietnam, so we're gonna take the Tortuga Setout through the streets of Ho Chi Minh City. This way, you can see the way that the pack looks, the way that it feels, and how it functions in an urban environment. And most importantly, I highly recommend that you stick around for the end, where I'll run over the overall pros and cons of the backpack, as well as let you know who I think this backpack is perfect for. And if it's not perfect for you, I'll make a specific recommendation for what pack I think best suits your needs. And before we jump into the video, one last thing I want to make clear is that while these videos are free to watch, they are not free to make. So if you like what we're doing, all we ask for is to hit the like button, comment on the video, or subscribe. This lets us know that we're doing an awesome job. And if we know that we're doing an awesome job, we're gonna keep making awesome videos. Let's go. All right, up next, let's chat about some specs. The Tortuga Outbreaker comes in 2 price points and 2 size points, and it's designed for 2 different sexes. What I mean by that is that the Outbreaker has both a men's design and a women's design. Right now, the bag that you see before you is the 45-liter men's. No matter if it's the men's design or the women's design, the 35-liter is gonna cost you $179, and the 45-liter is gonna run you back $199 US. When it comes to the men's and the women's design thing, I've heard mixed reviews. I haven't personally tried a women's pack, and even if I did, obviously what good would it do? But there seems to be sort of a split in the backpack world saying, half think that the women's design is great and it does work better to the build and the shape of a woman's body, and the other half say it's bull, and no matter what pack you buy, it's gonna be fine. That's why most backpack companies just opt to go in with a unisex design as opposed to designing a version for a man and a version for a woman. But the good news for all those ladies out there is that if you are looking for a pack that is specifically designed to fit your body type, that Tortuga caters to that need. So like I said, there's a 35-liter and a 45-liter option for both the men's and the women's. 45 liters, which is this one right here, is absolutely massive. This is not an everyday backpack. This is the I am traveling the world for 6 to 12 months backpack, and I need to fit my entire life's worth of And then on top of it, not only is 45 liters by itself enormous, but this particular 45 liter, the Tortuga Setout Backpack, is the biggest 45 liter I've ever seen, which we'll explain a bit more as we get inside the actual main compartment. A 35 liter is obviously gonna be smaller and is good for a super light, minimalist, long-term traveler. Like if you are traveling for 6 months, but you don't mind doing a little bit of extra laundry and you're not going to super cold places, so you can wear lighter clothes and pack lighter clothes. Or if you need a backpack that's good for bigger weekend and week trips. Both backpacks are huge, so huge that if you need a day pack, I don't think this is the right pack for you. But if you're looking for a big to travel with, I'm talking seriously travel with, you'll love the Tortuga Setout. Let's talk about the style of this guy. So I'm actually a huge fan of this backpack, but if there was one area of criticism that I would have for it, it would be this section. It would be its style or complete lack thereof. Because at the end of the day, when you're buying the Tortuga Setout, you are not paying for a sexy, chic backpack. You're paying for a backpack with incredible functionality. But that's about it, because as you can see, when it comes to the style of this thing, there really isn't much to it. It's kind of just like a big old blob. Look at it, the outside materials are a little wrinkly, it's blobby, it's wide, it's just So the name of the company is Tortuga, and Tortuga in Spanish means turtle. So it's like they're on brand here because they're basically taking like a turtle shell, you know? When you wear this thing, it's enormous. It's like a big old turtle shell. But I'm not trying to knock it. Like, that's not what Tortuga's trying to do. They're not trying to make bags that you waltz down like London with like a model, you know? Like, they're trying to make functional turtle shells. Let's say you're into it. You're like, you know, dude, whatever. I don't need the world's sexiest looking pack. I just needed to hold my shit. You got 3 color options. The first color option is the gray that you see before you. There's also a black on black, and there's a blue. I opted with the gray. I also think that the black on black looks fantastic. I actually got the black on black for the Tortuga Outbreaker Day Pack and the Tortuga Outbreaker 45 liter that I have, and the black on black looks great. I will say though, I'm not a fan of the blue. Like, they've got like this royal blue, and the whole thing is blue, and it just looks like a big old turd blueberry. Like, it's not a good look. I'm not a big fan of the blue, but the black and the gray look great. Let's talk about the way the pack feels. 4 things to discuss. First off is the exterior materials. These exterior materials are 900D polyester. And the polyester is made from 100% recycled plastic bottles. This is a huge thing for me. I am so in love with products and with companies that are committed to eco-friendliness. I mean, like, you know, get metal straws, recycled plastic, polyester, like I'm into the whole thing. It's amazing. And the polyester is good. It feels nice. It's actually a smoothness to it. It looks scratchier than it really is, but it's actually quite smooth. The only negative thing that I have to say about the polyester is that it does get that little bit of a wrinkly look. But in terms of the feel of the pack, it feels great. Should I use my straw as the pointer? Over here we have, oh, it's also, it's water resistant and green tea resistant apparently. For the interior materials, I kind of want to save this part because I'm going to nerd out so hardcore, but just wait till we get inside the pack and I talk about the interior materials because Tortuga has the strongest interior materials in the game right now. Tortuga, your interior material game right now is crushing it. Nice job. Next up is the zippers, and every single zipper on this pack is a YKK zipper. Super, super smooth. Now you're gonna miss out, like a lot of backpack companies have put like a water resistant lining on there. Tortuga did not do that. The pro of the water resistant lining is that your zippers are now water resistant. The con though is it's like a to open the zippers, and these are just like nice, like you can open this in your sleep. You could probably open it with just like one finger. It's awesome. All right, and finally, let's talk about the last part of the feel of the pack, and that's the way that it feels on your body. Is it comfortable? And the answer to that question is yes. The good thing is that all Tortuga backpacks are extremely functional and extremely comfortable. This is because they always put a ton of padding on their packs because they make big ass travel packs, and they know that the more comfortable the pack is, the better the pack is going to be. We'll actually jump into all like the nitty-gritty details of why this backpack is comfortable, especially when we go to the back panel section. But just know that everything feels great, everything works great, which is really important for a 45-liter backpack. Because if you think about it, you're taking this through train stations, you're taking it through airports, and you're taking it to those places with a ton of weight on your back. So a backpack that has additional padding and is comfortable at this size is extremely important. Next up, let's talk about the front of the pack. Now, really this pack shines when it comes to the middle and the back, but there's a few things about the front that I want you to know. Let's talk about first the logo. Big ass logos are becoming more and more common in the apparel industry. Think of the rise of Supreme, you know, like Supreme is on everything. In contrast, I like the nice subtle branding that Tortuga utilizes here. Just a cool little rubber stamp, turtle shell, that's it. Up next, let's talk about the quick access pocket. This quick access pocket is exactly what it sounds like. It's a pocket for things that you need to access in a jiffy. This is a good spot for things like cell phones, an external battery. I always like to keep my AirPods in case I need to grab them really quickly. There's not a lot to say about this pocket. It's a solid pocket. It's pretty much so exactly what you need it to be. It's got a nice zip to it. It's got a nice depth to it. It's good. But next up, although this pocket is just like, you know, it's good, this next pocket is f***ing sweet. And here is what I call the digital nomad pocket. Now, I have no idea what this pocket is actually referred to, but it's definitely a pocket that is just prime for organization. Whether it's a big notebook compartment right there, you've got spots for pens, a passport holder, this little soft lined pocket that's good for fragile goods like a watch. I mean, as you can see, this is just like a digital nomad or organizing lovers' favorite pocket. So as you can see, this is perfect for digital nomads or anybody who wants to take their organization and compartmentalization to the next level. This is a defining feature on the Tortuga Setout and is a recurring feature on many of Tortuga's best backpacks. I absolutely love this pocket. It provides a ton of additional organization without taking too much space, and it just looks and feels great. Which brings me to another point, the interior materials. In the previous section, I talked about the feel of this pack, and I said that Tortuga has one of the strongest interior material games on the market, and they absolutely do. Now, I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but if you really think about it, it isn't. Reason being is that if you think about it, every time you're inside the backpack and you're feeling around and your hand interacts with these materials, you're gonna feel it and it's going to dictate the experience of this backpack. And Tortuga really splurges on their interior materials. They just feel fantastic. These almost feel silky, but without being fragile, having a really nice durability to them. I'll nerd out a bunch more about the interior materials, don't you worry. Inside this larger digital nomad pocket, we've got a really nice key holder. It's not my favorite key holder in the world because I do prefer key holders that are easy to kind of take in and take out. Think of like the Boundary Supply Prima system. It's a magnet compartment, so all you do is snap it right off, snap it right on. This, you gotta like unbuckle it. It's so 20th century. But ultimately it works, and most importantly is that it's in a position that's easy to grab. You just kind of unzip right there, keys, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. And then finally in the Digi Nomad pocket, you've got this also like pocket within a pocket. Some Inception, right? This pocket's got a nice depth to it. It's about yay deep, okay? You can see it's pretty good depth. You can fit things in there. I like to put my shades in there. One room for improvement with this pocket is I do wish that it was like a soft lined material. Then I feel a little bit better about putting my shades in there or reading glasses in there or a phone in there or anything that is fragile. But what are you gonna do? And then my other criticism is that it's not that big of a deal, but because the zippers end right here, accessing the things that are at the very, very bottom can be a challenge sometimes. And you gotta understand, this pocket runs deep, dude. I mean, like, I'm talking like all the way down there. So sometimes like smaller bits and pieces will end up at the bottom and you gotta like you're really digging to find it. I understand why Tortuga didn't put the zippers all the way down. It's additional zipper, you don't really need it. They're trying to make a minimalist backpack, cut as much as they can. But still, like, this thing runs deep and the access can be a little limited. Okay guys, we're done with the front of the pack. Let's take our Tortuga Setout, check into our Airbnb, and then we'll break down the middle of the pack. Okay dudes, time for the middle of the pack. All right, first up, compression straps. You've got 2 on each side, they compress. Next. On this side of the pack, you've got a single side handle. On this side of the pack, you've got a water bottle holder. Let's talk about those. First of all, I really love it when backpacks have one side handle, one side water bottle holder. Often they'll do handle on each side and a water bottle holder on each side. I think that it's just overkill. Having just the handle on this side with no water bottle gives the handle some room to breathe, and it's just less cluttered and more minimalist, which I'm a big fan of. This handle is pretty good. It's got a squishiness to it. It's a little firm. You can grab it easy. There's some space for your fingers to ensure you can grab it quickly. I don't know why I'm not as crazy about it as I am with other handles. Maybe it feels a little cheap to me. I'm not sure. It's a good handle. I'm just nitpicking, but yeah, solid stuff. On the flip side, we've got the water bottle holder. Now, this is really important. I've reviewed hundreds of backpacks, what feels like hundreds of backpacks, and this is, without a doubt, the largest water bottle holder my eyes have ever seen it. It's enormous, okay? And so if you're the kind of person who's got like the big 1 liter water bottle, you like to travel with like half a gallon of water, you will be smitten to know that it actually fits in there. Like, it absolutely will. But unfortunately, for people who travel with smaller water bottles, this is a 500 milliliter. it's not as much of a secure fit. So interesting with the water bottle holder. I wish that there was a little bit more elasticity, that you could stretch it for a larger one, but that it would also tightly secure a smaller one. Next up, top handle. Remember the way that I said that I felt about this side handle? I feel the same way about the top handle. It's good, it's not the best, but it gets the job done. Okay, up next is far and away the most important aspect of the Tortuga Setout Backpack and its most defining feature, and that is this absolutely ginormous main compartment. Now, I've only packed a few things in here just so you can get an idea of what we're dealing with here, but when I say this, I mean it with every bit of honesty that I've ever said in my life, that this main compartment is absolutely massive. I'm serious, like if you filled this with water, you could like dive into it and like swim in it for a day. Like it's enormous. Look at the depth of this thing. And it's also especially enormous because there's nothing else in the actual compartment. So think about other backpacks. Sometimes they'll have like pockets here and compartment there and extra stuff here, which then clutters the main compartment. Tortuga said, no, f that. You're getting a big ass pool and that's it. As a minimalist, I freaking love this design choice. This gives me the power to decide how I want to organize my stuff, because although I don't have the pockets, I have packing cubes, I have tech pouches, okay? I have ways to organize it without Tortuga like putting that shit on me. And that's what this main compartment gives you, is just like unlimited freedom and like enough space to start like a city of gerbils. This main compartment is so big, you could use it to smuggle like baby gorilla and a rooster, 27 kilos of cocaine. I'm just saying you could. Okay, I'm done with the jokes, I'm sorry. Moving on. Remember I was talking about the internal materials? Let me nerd out on those again. Yet again, we have some of the best internal materials in the game. I adore Tortuga's webbing. It is without a doubt the best webbing and the best sort of like mesh that I have seen in any backpacks. It feels just so nice. A lot of these mesh compartments are super stiff with these like little divots and these little holes in it. And if you touch it, you feel like you're gonna slice the top of your finger off. But these are really nice, really smooth. I'm telling you, like, I know it's a weird thing to nerd out about internal materials, but every time you touch the insides of the Tortuga bag, like, it's just beautiful, and I really commend the job that they've done with that. On this side of the main compartment, we have two mesh compartments, okay? These are actually really deep and can fit a ton of shit. As to where this main spot doesn't really have any additional organization or compartments, this is where Tortuga gives you some room for organization. So you can keep things like underwear, socks, tech stuff in here, whatever you might need, because to be honest, like I said, they really pack deep and they can just hold a ton of shit. Let's talk about the back of the pack. First up is this little bizarre nylon top handle. I have no idea what you are. Why were you created? At first I thought this was the actual top handle, but then I realized there is a normal top handle here, a well padded sort of top handle. The only guess that I can come up with is that this is to hang your backpack up with. If so, I mean, I can't really complain about the existence of this thing because it doesn't really take away anything on the bag and it doesn't take a lot of space, and I mostly forget that it even is there. Ultimately, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't take up much space and it's barely noticeable, but I've never seen this on a bag before and I don't know what function it serves. All right, bring it in for these shoulder straps, which they are, in terms of comfort, they're nice, but they're like, okay, most of the comfort is actually gonna come from this back padding and from this highly padded waist strap, which we'll get into in a bit. These shoulder straps are actually shockingly firm and they're not extremely comfortable, but they breathe, baby. Oh, they breathe so good. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see through? There's actually like, it's like someone took a hole puncher to it and just punctured it a bunch of times, which provides additional ventilation to your shoulders. It's actually really cool. I haven't seen this before. I love the feature. It probably is a reason that the comfort and like overall squishiness is compromised, but I think it's worth the sacrifice. Also, always appreciated, the shoulder straps do a great job of taking away excess dangle. I'm a dangle hater. I hate it when dangling all over the place. And as you can see right here, there's not too much additional dangle. And at the bottom, we have the circle nylon strap thingy-majoggers. I have no idea what they're officially referred to as, so I refer to them as the circle nylon strap thingy-majoggers. And they're good because they help keep additional dangle away. Speaking of no dangle, we also have the circle nylon strap thingy-majoggers on the sternum strap. The sternum strap as a whole is a pretty good one. It is removable, so you can go ahead and hook it and unhook it right here. While a sternum strap can be controversial, I really recommend keeping it for a backpack of this size. When you have a 45-liter backpack and it is packed to bursting, it's a lot of strain on your back, man, and like, you wanna save your back. Backs are important. Hashtag save the backs. Let's look at the back panel, and I have one word to describe the back panel, and that is thick. Like, that pad thick, bro. While it's not as cushiony as some other Tortuga backpacks, back panel is, this back panel has a really nice comfort to it. The mesh, as always, is a fantastic material. It's got a cushiness to it, but also a firmness, so it's actually kind of the best of both worlds. Also important with the back panel is an adequate amount of ventilation, and as you can see the way this is sort of carved out, that your back has room to breathe as air can just flow. Now, if you think though that this is thick, so I said the back panel is thick, but if this is thick, the waist straps are thick. The thickness of this can't even compare to the thickness of this. Like, I'm gonna be straight up, like, this backpack has covered a lot of new territory for me, and I have never seen a waist strap that is as padded and cushiony and as thick as this one is. Which is great because, you know, we're talking about this bag and how big it is and how important comfort is when you have this much weight on you, and you have the suspension up here to take a little bit of weight off your back. You've got the sternum strap to help take some weight off your back, and then you have these waist straps to also ensure that the weight is properly distributed so your back is just a happy back. These waist straps are cool in a lot of different ways though. They actually have pockets right here. Not all waist straps have sort of quick access pockets. This is a good spot for like your passport, or maybe you've got an additional credit card that you want to keep around. Do I have anything in this one? Oh, going to the club tonight. But one thing to keep in mind is, although you have all this additional comfort and you have all this awesome new pocket stuff going on here, and you have also this cool like way to put additional dangle in there so your dangle's not flapping around, with all that additional stuff is gonna come a ton of weight. These things are heavy, man. And in fact, this backpack as a whole is heavy. And that is attributed to completely this back panel. All of this padding and all of these features and all this additional stuff contributes to what is actually a very clunky travel experience. Very important, keep this in mind. And finally, the next awesome thing about the waist strap though is that if you ain't feeling it, which I hope that you are, because hashtag keep that back healthy, but if you want to remove these waist straps, you simply unvelcro them, pop them right off. Which transitions me into the next part about this backpack, and that's that if you don't want it to be a backpack, you can transform it into a duffel. Check this out. One waist strap off, next waist strap off, and then what we do is we take off the shoulder straps, or should I say, we stow away the shoulder straps. So you unhook them from the bottom. Pretty easy system to unhook. They can get caught sometimes, but usually easy. And then you take them up top, unvelcro this back panel, and like a magic trick, they slowly disappear into the abyss, and your backpack has miraculously transformed into a duffel bag. It's especially nice to have when you only need to move your pack from quick location to quick location. Think about it, like if the pack's in the ground, you have to grab it, pick it up, put it on your back, walk, grab it, take it off. Like, it's a lot of movement for only short spaces. It's just too much. So sometimes it's nice to trim the fat, make it like seamless, and then just use it as a duffel. And it's especially awesome at the airport. Like when you get to the airport, you're checked in for your flight, stow away the straps, put the waist straps in your actual bag, and use it as a duffel. Then when you're just making these quick little trips, you just gotta fill up your water bottle, you gotta use the restroom, you gotta check in at the counter, you gotta buy some dried mangoes from the kiosk. Hashtag dried mango life. So I'm telling you, do not underestimate the awesomeness of this feature. And the awesomeness gets to even another level of awesomeness because you can actually hook a duffel strap to either side of the bag and really use it as a duffel. But in retrospect, I really wish that I would have gotten one. It's only 15 bucks, which is pretty cheap, and it's super easy to use. You just pop it on both sides here and there, and then you're in full duffel mode. And then you can grab the bag from the top handle, the side handle, or just use it as a traditional duffel. So yeah, I just want to nerd out real fast, guys, to kind of summarize a few things with this back and this middle compartment, because the way that you got to look at it is like, this is just a suitcase without wheels. That can be, it's a suitcase in the terms of it's enormous circular clamshell style opening that you can just fit all of your shit in. But instead of rolling it around on 2 or 4 wheels, you pop it on your back or sling it over your shoulder as a duffel. This thing is absolutely massive, but like, you have to understand that's what it's for. It's to fit a ton of stuff. Like, if you are traveling the world for months on end, this can hold everything that you've ever wanted and then some. And then remember, if you have the layover in the airport, you can also pop a nap in this bad boy. Okay guys, we are finished with reviewing the specs of the pack. Now we're gonna go to my co-working space where we will do an overview of the overall pros and cons of the Tortuga Setout Backpack. And then after the pros and cons, I'll tell you who, in my professional opinion, who I think this backpack is perfect for. And if I don't think this pack fits your needs, don't worry, I'll let you know which pack I do think fits your needs. To the co-working space, we go. Okay, welcome back inside. Air conditioning is amazing. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of the Tortuga Setout. The first overall pro of the Tortuga Setout Backpack is its capacity, because it's enormous. I cannot emphasize enough that this backpack has probably the biggest capacity in a backpack that has ever existed in the entirety of humanity. It's a little dramatic, I don't know if that's accurate, but it's big. Overall pro number 2 is that this backpack is absolutely a true minimalist backpack. The word minimalist gets tossed around a lot, okay? It's kind of like a buzzword. People like to say it, they like to use it in situations, and often when they say it and they use it in situations, it is inaccurate and not true. Very common with backpacks too. You hear a backpack being called a minimalist backpack, and you're like, it's got 37 pockets, how is that minimalist? But in contrast, the Tortuga Setout is truly a simplified, stripped down, minimalist, large travel pack. Number 3 overall pros is the interior materials. Like I said, we're getting super nerdy here, but I think it's important for me to relay this to you. It's super common for backpack companies to spend a lot of money on their exterior materials and then really cut costs with the interior materials. But Tortuga does a fantastic job of making sure that the exterior materials are really nice, but also that the interior materials are sweet. And my last pro numero 4, is the comfort. Remember, this is a big ass travel pack that you're gonna pack a ton of stuff into. So have some mercy on your back and give it some of this padding beauty. Remember, I took these waist straps off, but these waist straps are huge. They're like the size of an extra large burrito. And these back panels are super comfortable, have a nice little firmness to them, but also a little cushiony. And we've also got a lot of really great ventilation. Like overall, it's a heavy bag. It's gonna carry a bunch of stuff, but it's gonna be comfortable, which is really, really important. But while I clearly do like the Tortuga Setout Backpack, I've still got a few nits to pick with it. Here are my overall cons. Overall con number 1 are these exterior materials. Now, I like them, they're durable, they work, there's a water resistance to them, but they kind of have like a wrinkliness to them. Now, I want to clarify something. My bag is particularly wrinkly. I had some complications with shipping. I live in Hong Kong. I had to ship it to the States, and my little 16-year-old brother had to like handle it for me, and he's a pothead, so God knows what he actually did with it. Sorry, Jake. So I don't think all the setouts are going to be this wrinkly, but having said that, the wrinkliness is also a factor of the actual materials that are being used. Because even if you take out this little part right here, you can still see kind of like a wrinkliness to this fabric. Which leads me into my next point, overall pro number 2, that this ain't the sexiest bag on the market. Remember, Tortuga's mission is functionality, not sexiness-ality. This bag is big, it's bulky, it's gonna fit your entire life in there, but it's not the sleekest or sexiest looking bag on the market. With that, that leads into my third overall con of the Tortuga Setout Backpack, and that it's not sexy because it's really big and it's really bulky. Keep in mind that bulk isn't just an aesthetic thing. Like, it doesn't just look like you have a turtle shell on your back. It also is going to drag you down. You're moving through the airport, you're sprinting through the train station, we're trying to check into your hostel, whatever it is. When you especially have those waist straps strapped on, things are just shooting all over the place, man. You're getting caught on things, you're hitting things, and it's a really draggy sort of a travel experience. And finally, my fourth overall con is this water bottle holder. If you carry a big ass water bottle, this thing will be fine. But if you're like me and you carry a smaller one, 500 milliliters, this thing is huge, man. And these smaller water bottles just don't really feel very secure in there. I mean, this backpack's on its side, like I've got this grip right here, so it's helping it kind of keep in place, but I could definitely see a situation where the water bottle would slide right out. It's just kind of a lack of a security for a more normal thin water bottle. Okay, so taking all of the pros and all of the cons into consideration, I give the Tortuga Setout Backpack an overall score of 4.3 out of 5. This score is a representation of the overall value we think the Tortuga Setout can give you. Is it the best looking backpack on the market? Hell no, but it's gonna hold all of your gear, and most importantly, it will last the test of time. Okay, now is the fun part. Do I think this backpack is for you? I think this backpack is perfect for you if you are looking for a large travel backpack that can hold a ton of stuff, case closed. I think this backpack is perfect for you if you're looking for a backpack that prioritizes functionality over style. I think this backpack is perfect for you if you want a large backpack that is incredibly comfortable. And finally, I think this backpack is perfect for you if you are a woman looking for a large travel pack. Remember, in the beginning of the video, I told you that the Setout comes in a 45 and 35 liter version. And that's both for men and for women. So there's a men's 45, a men's 35, a women's 45, and a women's 35. If as a woman you are looking for a backpack that is designed specifically to fit your body type and you want a big ass backpack, this is a great option. But while this pack is perfect for a lot of people, this is not the pack for other people. Let me tell you who it's not for. The Tortuga Setout is not for you if you're looking for an everyday carry backpack. This should be obvious. It's 45 liters, it's too big. If you are in the market for a smaller backpack, take a look at the description below. I've got some specific links to some awesome travel backpacks that are a lot smaller. This backpack is also not for you if you want something with more organization and like more features. Remember, the Tortuga Setout's goal was minimalism. But if you're like, yo, minimalism sounds cool, dog, but I want pockets. If that sounds like you want some more pockets, man, then check the description below. I've got some pocket heavy and feature heavy backpacks down there. And last but not least, this backpack is absolutely not for you if you are looking for a backpack for outdoors activity like hiking. Although, yes, this bad boy is super, super comfortable. At the end of the day, this is not a hiking backpack. This is an urban travel backpack. Hiking backpacks have a very specific sort of design. They have a frame in place that this is not a hiking backpack. If you are looking for a hiking backpack, check the description below. I've got some of Nomads Nation highest rated hiking backpacks down there, and they're really awesome. If you dug this review and you're like, OMFG, the Tortuga Setout backpack is for me, then please do us a favor and use the links in the description below. 2 reasons why you want to do this. Reason number 1, we link you up to the best price on the internet so you don't get ripped off. Reason number 2 is that if you use those links, we get a small kickback at no extra cost to you. And that small kickback is what keeps the lights on in Nomads Nation. As long as the lights are on, we are gonna keep making awesome backpack review videos for you. And finally, if you're not gonna buy a backpack, no problem. All we ask is a payment in the currency of kindness. Throw us a like,
comment on the video, subscribe to our videos. I mean, if you made it this far, you clearly like backpack reviews. So, you know, subscribe, man. Every time we do another one of these, you'll be the first to know. Alrighty, I'm out. I'll see you guys next time.
Like indestructible, like, will it break?
Well, this one is.
Show me how you do it.
This one is like $300.
Oh shit. Oh! Oh!
Hey, this is hard freaking. Big hard freaking.
Dude.
So you have to kind of go with it.
I get it, bro. It's gnarly, man.
Yeah.